Hi, my name is Mark. This is one of our stops at the Islamorada Historical Bike Tour. The phone number is 305-879-0390. I picked this spot because this is a location back Christmas Eve 2001 where a very famous Keys murder took place. A guy by the name of Brett Grimm was living on a sailboat offshore, and he got in an argument with his girlfriend, Patty Weekly. He ended up drowning her and killing her. And so what he decided to do was take her body over to the water here, to this channel, and set her to adrift. And at the time, it was an outgoing tide, so he thought she would go out in the water, he'd go into town, and hit the bars and start creating an alibi for himself. But what he didn't realize, it was slack tide. The tide actually came in a little bit later. Patty's body drifted back over by Brett's boat, and one of his neighbors saw Patty drifting in the water, went out and recognized her, and picked up Patty. He wasn't really the brightest guy in the world and didn't have a cell phone, so he took Patty into Brett's boat, jumped in there, threw Patty on Brett's bed and threw a blanket over her, and went back home and went to bed. Well, Brett was in town all night drinking, creating his alibi. He comes back to the boat later on and hops into bed and realizes his dead girlfriend is in bed with him. So he freaks out, and at that time, his neighbor heard him screaming. So the neighbor came over next door to explain to him what happened, and Brett was upset with him and said, "You idiot, you ruined my alibi." So Brett threatened his friend that if he went to the cops, that he would tell on him on another so-called crime that he committed. Well, the friend was real nervous, went into town that day, started talking about the incident to a friend, and a bartender overheard the story, and the bartender ended up calling the police, and the police went out there and found Patty in Brett's boat. Brett subsequently was arrested for murder, and he ended up pleading guilty and was in prison for 25 years for manslaughter. So this is what we call Weekend at Bernie's Islamorada style. So if you get a chance, go on our bike tour, call me. My name is Mark, 305-879-0390.